Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, content creator, and just a great resource for the entire one rental at a time community, Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm ready for round two.
So you gave us a close on video one today that we are just going to make video number two. So instead of me trying to steal your thunder, why don't you share it with us one more time? We're going to dig in.
So this is how I look at investing. This is how I look at parenthood. This is how I look at your career, where you work. Most people are planning for the weekend, or maybe the vacation for this year. So a quote I like to say often is, you are going to be alive in 5 years. Start investing like it. And that doesn't mean buy a bunch of rental properties. That can literally be, what's the first step? No matter what path you take in investing, if it's buy and hold, flipping, wholesaling, whatever it is, no matter which path you go for, we need to learn how to live on less than what we spend.
Exactly.
Figuring out how to increase what we make, whether it's side hustles, starting investing, reduce what we spend. Some people call it the latte factor. I like to go for house hacking and get rid of that big expense.
Doing both.
Yep, doing both, and then avoid life creep. Because yeah, as you increase that disposable income, the word disposable is a little bit off. That doesn't mean you can dispose of it. You need to save and invest the difference. And that's something you can do long before you've learned a market, picked a strategy, or even developed the skills to invest.
Yeah, I agree 1000%. It's why I had to create the Get Your Money Right course, and I charge only $99 for it. It's because that's where Olivia and I started, right? One rental at a time, the book, the course, that's all what we did after we got our money right, right? We were spending we had just suffered $150,000 loss in the stock market. We spent everything we made. I felt hopeless, depressed. One of the rare times in my life I felt depressed. And it was all my doing. It was all my daily choices. And I was not thinking about being alive in 5 or 10 years. I was not thinking about Teresa going to college. I wasn't thinking about all of these things. It was just the next day, right? So yeah, we had a level set. We got smacked hard. And we did a whole audit of need versus wants. You can't get where you're going, and in my world, unless you know where you are. And then, oh, by the way, you got to, I don't know, if you're in a boat, you got to clog or fill up the leaks or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm tongue tied this morning, but you got to stop drilling holes in your boat. Right. And yeah, I had to do a lot of self-reflection. It wasn't fun, but I got to tell you, as we got in the flywheel, the fact that we took our expenses from 100, literally 100%, probably even a little bit more with credit, to almost 50% was life-changing. It just went faster and faster and faster and faster.
Well, the really cool thing with learning how to increase your savings rate is the goal for your savings rate, the person watching this video right now today, your goal for savings rate should be 100%. Because if you can't save 100% of what you're getting from your job, you're trapped in the rat race.
Yeah, you're selling hours. Yep.
You develop a plan that takes 5 years to 10 years where you purchase cash flowing assets, to where the cash flow from those assets will allow you to save every penny that comes in from your job. Once you can save every penny that comes in, you don't need the job anymore.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's when you reach financial freedom. And there's actually a bit of mental peace that comes before you reach financial freedom. Before I bought my first duplex, when I was renting out the house, living in an apartment, getting my debt to income under control, saving for that first duplex, and I saw the path to financial freedom. I didn't even start making offers on a duplex yet. I knew if I buy a place every 2 years, in 10 years, that's 5 places. 5 places cash flowing, even if it's $200 or $300 a unit with duplexes, that's more than it costs me to live. So financial freedom was just a distant thing that I can perceive, right?
Yeah.
I was able to take a risk at work that I never would have taken. New owners purchased the company, and I had an idea that would grow the company. If I didn't have financial freedom as an actual goal that I could see happening, like I had confidence this is going to happen, because every 2 years, all I got to do is buy one place every 2 years. Easy. There are people who buy 30 in 1 year, right? So I just got to get one every 2 years. I pitched my idea to the owners because I didn't need the job. I didn't even have a cash flowing real asset yet. I just knew that this was the path to do it. And then the idea worked out, and I've been demoted down to president of the company and given part ownership. So that worked out because I was willing to take the risk, because I saw a 5 to 10 year path to financial freedom. And what bothers me sometimes is when a new investor doesn't want to go for that property that we talked about in the first video today. Well, it's only going to have $200 or $300 cash flow. So is that worth the time, energy, and effort that it takes to get it? You repeat that a few times, and then the 5 years happens.
Yeah.
And you look back and you think, well, now my most recent purchase is probably only cash flowing $200 or $300, but that one from 5 years ago is doubling that cash flow. And then the snowball starts to happen. And it's the advantage that you and I have. Having reached financial freedom, we know that if we lose everything, it's a 5 to 10 year path to do these exact same things, to repeat the process. The people who are watching the video, they don't have that confidence that we have, that we did it. And a lot of times when it comes to real estate, especially in bigger pockets, they're very careful not to say that it's easy. They want you to know that you're going to have challenges, and it's hard to save, and it's hard to compete, and it feels like it takes forever. But I'm changing my tune. This is so much easier than working 50 hours a week for over 40 years to hopefully maybe retire on a self-contributed pension that, or, that might not even be there, and hope that taxes are less in the future, and hope that I retire in a lower tax bracket, and all those things that people do because it's comfortable. To me, real estate is 10 times easier than having to have a job.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. For a lot of people I talk to, right, in the rat race, it really is, have a plan B, right? I mean, a lot of you should have I talk about getting to 4 all the time. It's funny you talked about getting to 5 duplexes. I talk about 4. It's kind of a legacy lending issue, because there was a time where only 4 was the number, but I still think it's the right number. Every event I've ever gone, I've always asked, who doesn't think they can get 4? And so far, nobody has said that, which is cool. It could be life-changing, right? I think it was your 4th duplex when you filled out a financial statement that you're like, oh my God, right? This like, we're there, right?
When I got to the 4th property, here's how I was judging it at the time. I'm still financially educating myself. Like, I still wake up every morning and I go, where's one rental at a time? Because I need my daily update from the guy with a brain who actually looks through everything and finds out the information that matters to an investor. So thanks for doing that work for us. But when I was a police officer, I was a single parent with 3 kids. My take-home pay was about $1,300 every 2 weeks. Real tiny little town. There was only 24 officers there. I wasn't making a lot of money, but we were surviving. We had food, we had a house, we had cars. We did things like we had a sea-doo, like we had play things. I was spending my money all wrong, but $2,600 a month, I was able to survive on that while I had a mortgage. As soon as I got to the 4th property, I was house hacking a duplex, so I didn't have no mortgage. I didn't have a mortgage. The overall cash flow after principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and setting aside for repairs, maintenance, and vacancy was $2,700 a month. So about the same amount of money as a cop without the mortgage.
Yeah. Huge.
4 properties. It didn't take 30. It didn't take 10 years. It took about 6 to get to the 4th property.
That's amazing.
And here's something Bigger Pocket says that I actually agree with in this instance. They had a video that came out that said, don't retire on cash flow, which seems counterintuitive because most of us are like, I want cash flow, so I don't have to work, right? Well, when my $2,700 coming in could support my lifestyle, that's not the time to retire, because your life can scale larger in the future and you want to plan for it. Inflation can happen.
Yeah.
Health issues could happen, all kinds of things. So once your cash flow surpasses your expenses, you're financially independent. You can change jobs without worrying about the income as much. Start doing the job you want, pursuing something that could have a better outcome, but a dip in the beginning. But then once cash flow is 3 or 4 times your income, because you're right, get to 4, that's the challenge. Once we get to 4, we realize managing 4 is no different than managing 10. No. Like, it feels exactly the same. And So I'm financially independent, financially free since 2018. I don't have to work. I don't have to add units. It's just too easy to stop. Like, there's no reason to stop. The income snowball keeps happening. And until someday I flip the switch in my head where I learn how to start spending money, you have to invest it.
Yeah,
So
you gotta do something. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I'm to the point where I'm actually trying new things, right? The big thing I'm trying to get done this year is build its freaking ADU. It's proven to be a headache and a half, but it's fun. It's fun to try new things. Because you can, right? Again, one of the things I don't want people to misconstrue this. I think you have to be laser focused. Diversification is not what you do for the first 5 to 10 years. Find your thing and commit. When you get to the point you have financial freedom and you have flexibility and you want to take a flyer, go ahead. You've earned it. That's not permission to get distracted in the beginning, right? One rental at a time. Buy box daily discipline is focused like that on purpose. I'm to the point where I can take that flyer and try something new. I never built anything from scratch, so I want to give it a shot.
Nice. I think it's brilliant that you have that ADU guy come on.
Mm-hmm.
He's got great strategy. He understands the rules. Like that's his world. Kind of like if you had a course and you wanted to say, here's how you do property management or how you self-manage. You haven't done it, so you have somebody come in and teach that.
Exactly.
You're doing the ADU. You have him come in and provide his content. I met him recently at Northwest Action Summit. We were both presenters there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like his strategy. I like what he does, but you're right. When I was starting out, if I did buy and hold and burr and try to flip one and then add an ADU, I would still be starting out.
You'd still be starting out. So folks,
find the one that you like, focus on, master it. Kind of like Charlie Munger says,
commit. Yep.
Focus until you become wealthy. Then once you're wealthy, you diversify to protect the wealth, but you don't diversify
or have fun.
Or have fun, right?
I'm doing it to have fun. It's a challenge. I will. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So again, I think the statement, why don't you go ahead and close with the statement one more time?
You are going to be alive in 5 years. Start investing like it.
That is Dion from Dion Talk. You can find him right here on YouTube. And what day do you go live?
Tuesday afternoons, 4 p.m. Pacific. And I go as long as the questions come in.
That's amazing. Thanks, buddy.
Ciao.